Hello everybody and welcome to our Youth Cooking School video where we will be making vanilla frozen yogurt, otherwise known as vanilla froyo. And so this has very few items, but it's going to be very tasty at the end. So your ingredients for this recipe are going to be a 32-ounce container of Greek yogurt. And so if you get the larger size, this is going to be 32 ounces. You can get fat-free or full fat. Either one will work. If you do get full fat, it will be a little more creamy, but make sure you do get this in the flavor vanilla. The next ingredient is going to be 1/3 cup of raw honey. So this is our honey we're going to use today. And the honey is just going to add a sweet flavor to this. And then the last thing is our vanilla, and we're going to use 1 teaspoon of this. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start adding things to our blender. So this is super easy. There's no reason for me to measure this out since it's full, and I do know that it's 32 ounces. So I'm just going to open this up, take a spoon, and I'm just going to start putting everything into my blender. For this, you can use a blender or a food processor, whichever one you have would work perfectly fine. So again, I'm just going to start scooping this out and putting it directly into my blender. Make sure you use your spoon to scrape out everything in that container. Okay. So I've now added my 32 ounce of Greek vanilla yogurt, fat-free or full fat, either one will work. The next step is going to be adding our raw honey. So for the honey, we need 1/3 of a cup. So if you have a measuring cup, that would work perfectly. So you can see 1/3 is about where my finger is. So it's not very much at all. Honey is very sticky and hard to sometimes get out of the container that you're putting it in. So just make sure you do add enough. And while we're adding the honey, this is going to just add a very sweet flavor to this mixture altogether. So that is why we add the honey. Go ahead and start with 1/3 of a cup, and we'll do a taste test halfway through. And if we feel that we need to have it be a little sweeter, we can always add more. But I do recommend starting at what it does say on the recipe. Okay, that's done. Next is going to be the vanilla. So, vanilla extract, this is what I'm using. Anything you have, doesn't have to look like this, as long as it's vanilla extract, that will work. So you don't need very much of this at all. This is very strong, and so that's why it says 1 teaspoon on the recipe, just because you don't need much to give it flavor. So be very careful pouring this. Make sure you pour this over a plate or something. Don't pour it over your recipe, because if you do accidentally pour too much, your whole recipe is, now altered. So I'm just gonna pour it over my measuring cup that I've already used. So again, 1 teaspoon. Okay. I have mine filled up, and I'm just gonna pour it in here. And again, start with that. We'll do a taste test halfway through, and if we feel we need to add more, we always can. So we have added our Greek yogurt. If you have regular yogurt, that will work too, but Greek yogurt is a little more thick, and it is going to make this recipe more creamy. We've added our honey, we've added our vanilla, and now we are going to go ahead and mix it together. So again, a food processor or a blender will work for this. I am using a blender today. This is the Ninja blender. Okay, so mine may look a little different, but I'm just putting everything together. I'm now ready to blend. So once you have everything together in your blender or your food processor, put the things together and just go ahead and blend. And I would say blend for about 20 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a taste test now. So go ahead and grab a clean spoon, and to me it just looks like vanilla ice cream. It's pretty thick, the consistency is pretty thick, but I'm going to go ahead and taste this and see what I think and see if I need to add any honey to add sweetness or any more vanilla to add a little more vanilla taste to it. Very good. If you like vanilla, you will love this recipe. It actually tastes very similar to just vanilla ice cream. And so I'm going to blend this just for a few more seconds. I am going to take my spoon and just scrape the sides of my blender. I do see like a little bit of honey in there still. So just go ahead and mix that up. And put your lid back on, put your food processor back together. Okay, and I'm just gonna blend probably for about 5 to 10 seconds. Yum, looks good. And since we did not have anything frozen in here yet, it really doesn't take too long to blend this mixture. And so for me, the next step is going to be to pour your mixture into a container, and this does have to be airtight closed. And so I'm going to put the lid on and we'll put it into the freezer for 2 to 3 hours. And once it's done, you can then top it with your topping. And so I got mixed fruit. This is pineapple, strawberries, peaches, and mango. But you can do mixed berries, you can add a caramel topping to it, you can add a chocolate topping, really whatever you want you can add. So get creative, you can really do anything. If you'd like a kind of like a strawberry topping and not necessarily like fresh strawberries, you can take strawberry jelly and melt that in the microwave and or on your stove and pour it over, and that'll give you a really good creamy flavor too. So again, we're just gonna take our spoon, pour this into our container that will be going into the freezer. So you'll pour that all in. Again, it'll be in the freezer for 2 to 3 hours. If you like it a little softer, just check a little before. I would say check about 2 hours to see what it's like. You may want to go ahead and eat it thin, but if you want it a little more firm, I'd go the 3 hours. So get creative with your toppings. There's lots of options since this is just a vanilla frozen yogurt. I hope you all enjoy this activity and enjoy your yummy frozen yogurt we made.